Hey, 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 gang. How's it going? How is everybody on this beautiful Tuesday? There's an empty seat next to me because we're going to have a fun guest with us on the stream in just a second. But first, just want to say hi to all of you guys myself. Thank you for your patience yesterday. I was feeling really under the weather yesterday afternoon, and it really helped to just curl up on the couch for a few hours and pray all of the bad feelings away, which worked. It was great. And I'm feeling much better now. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Today is kind of a crazy day. The world has gone absolutely nutso, in case you aren't already aware of that. We've got a lot of stories to catch up on from yesterday. We've got some stories to dive into today. But just generally speaking, are going to be diving in very deep to the concept that we've just lost to the plot as humanity, as far as just our brains work and what we're trying to achieve with the story of humanity. At this point, American culture in particular has become so self-obsessed. Like, we've all just become so this close to our own faces that we've lost our ability to find the humanity in one another, and we've lost our ability to figure out what the bigger picture of our existence is supposed to be. So we've got some funny stories to dive into today, some funny things to react to throughout the stream, and sadly, some hilarious stories to share with all of you, and I will not be alone. Drum roll, please. It's a long intro, but Brock is streaming with us today. You guys have been asking for Brock to do like a takeover of the stream and or be here on the stream. Locals especially wants you to do like a full takeover, Brock. So it's coming at some point. But thought it would be fun for Brock to stream with us today because it's been a while since you've done that. If you guys are new or you don't know who Brock is, you're like, who is this tall drink of water eating gnocchi on Isabel's stream? This is my fiance, Brock. So we're going to be reacting to all of our stories together today. And Libby is somewhere around here. Someone said they identify as a corgi, Libby, which I'm sure you would love to appreciate if you are joining us for the stream, but you'll probably run away in about 3 minutes. So as we're getting started, let's say hi to some people and we will jump right into an extra long stream to make up for yesterday with the broccoli man himself, who is very hungry apparently and is eating while we are going to be streaming, which is a-okay with us. As I'm saying hi to you guys, don't forget, introduce yourselves in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from, especially if you are new around here or you're watching for the first time. And if you haven't already, hit that follow or subscribe button on whatever platform you're watching on. Please, please do so. This is the spare bedroom of my apartment. We don't have a huge budget into growing the channel, so every single one of you that hits follow or subscribe really does make a huge difference on all of our platforms where we are live right now, from YouTube to Facebook, Rumble, Getter, and of course our locals community and family over on our little corner of the internet. Starting on YouTube, Fred is watching. We've got Sam watching on Facebook. Nintendo is watching on YouTube. Asks how I'm feeling. I'm feeling much better. Thank you very much. Dutch Canadian is watching. Brenda is here. Brenda, I am doing fantastic. How are you? And I love that you are feeling like it's an adventure every time that you hide away at work to listen to the stream. Don't get in trouble, all of you guys that are watching at work. Leon's watching on YouTube. Marky is watching on YouTube. Ravosa is watching from Europe. Kobe is here and says, you're new. Hi, Kobe. I'm glad you're here and welcome. Josh is watching from Michigan. Jake is here. We've got Jake, you're watching in Australia, if I remember correctly, which is awesome. How is the future over there? Does it look brighter than how bleak it looks today over here, to be honest with you? Because I've kind of lost my faith for the future in humanity, at least. Daloon is watching. We've got Randy watching. Hadley's watching. We've got several more over on YouTube. On Rumble, Graham says hello in the live chat. Don't forget, Rumble, use that chat so that we know where you guys are watching from and who is here. Magic Def says time to feed the noodle. On Locals, Elusive Man is watching, or on Getter. Nitty Witty is here. He says brockianity. It's a craze. It's a movement, Brock. They love you. They want to see you here. We absolutely love to see it. And is broccoli one of your favorite foods? No, he hates broccoli. He hates green vegetables in general. And the Locals gang is out in full force. Crazy Cat Lady's here. Alex Padron is here. Mountain Lover is here. We've got Tito watching. We've got Daniel Maynard watching. You guys are the best. I love that you take so much time out of your day. African Warlord is watching. Brock is going to steal the show. What the heck? And Tito just sent you a $5 tip. You guys, I thought you watched for me.
I didn't even have to say anything.
I know. Maybe men really are superior. I don't know. Maybe this is like a real thing. But let's just jump right in. We're going to have a lot of fun today. As always, if you guys love what we say, if you think something's crazy or funny, always drop it in the chat throughout the stream. I think just generally speaking, Brock, I would love to pick your brain on this. If I sit right here, I look like I have ears, so I have to like move because I don't have dog ears. We're not doing that. Yes, just scooch a little bit. Brock, I'd love to pick your brain because we were talking about this earlier. I feel like everything we're talking about on the stream today, which is mostly related to the reels and shorts that I posted yesterday and today, all centers around this idea that we are just like totally self-obsessed people. Like our entire culture has been so obsessed with feeding our disgusting clinical levels of narcissism that we've basically just said anything goes, do whatever you want to do, to the point that humanity has lost to the plot. And I'm curious because I was thinking about this from like a spirituality perspective this week, what you would think about this, that the most countercultural thing you can do in a culture that is built upon do whatever you want, anything that you think is good, like make your dreams come true to an unhealthy level. I would argue the most countercultural thing that you could do is fill your soul with more of God and less of you. And do you think that that's an issue in at least modern America today? Or like, why do you think that everybody is so bonkers insane? And I got another mic, but we're waiting on the cord to come. So you guys' mic fund worked. We do have another mic, but we're sharing it today.
I can't like start off the stream like with like a fun video to laugh at. No. You give me like a deep philosophical introspective look at life. Like what's the meaning of the universe as I just finished my food. Mm-hmm. What was your question?
Okay, maybe we should start with a video because otherwise you might lose your mind. But think about, why do you think everybody's self-absorbed? Why do you think everybody has gone so crazy that we're not even content like, hey, I want to be an astronaut someday, or I want to be a surgeon one day, or I'm going to be the president of the United States, which is somewhat related to self-delusion, but like in a healthier way, I would argue. Instead, now we're like taking furries to the next level, and we're trying to like get TLC reality shows on My 1,000 Pound Life, which is a real show, by the way. I discovered that on TikTok this week. My 1,000 Pound Life. Just like all of it seems to me to be maybe a natural evolution of self-culture, self-obsessed culture. Like anything I say goes, anything I do goes, I can do whatever I want. I have no accountability for anything, and therefore I'm just gonna like not even be a functioning human anymore. Why are people doing that? In your opinion?
Well, now that this stream is about me, because we're going to be self-obsessed today.
Lovely.
See you later. I mean, you could make an argument that, like, with the evolution of the internet and social media specifically, just, like, everybody has trended more self-obsessed. Like, when you really break down, like, the nuts and bolts of what social media should be versus what it is, I mean, it is like this false reflection of your life, right? Like we all put this persona on for the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, you understand more than anybody. Like you do it for a living, but like all of us regular people that use Instagram, we use it for, even though it might even be subconscious validation that you're looking for, but it is. Like ultimately we look and we post for other people. Like we don't post a picture for us. If you wanted to do it, you could just look at it. You don't have to actually post it on the internet. I just think the more that's been ingrained with society and the more and more society intertwines with social media and the internet, like they're virtually going to be synced together forever, right? Like there's no escaping that world. It is what it is, like, right? I feel like even now, like your bank has like an Instagram. Like think about how like intertwined things are, and they're like, find us, weird. Like go check your account with the link in our bio. Like that kind of crazy level of thinking is over time that has just built up this like sort of, not to say everybody's out to get the most likes, but it's all about me. Like everything is centered around, like when you go online, you have your profile picture and your general persona, right? And it's like, I get to see things that I want to see, and I get to interact with things I want to interact with. It's not about like there are the certain, like, there are cases in which social media, like, right, you can highlight somebody else and, like, share it to your story, and, like, there are other things like that that are for the good of humanity. Not to say that like, doesn't exist. However, I would say that is more of an exception to the rule, and the rule is, like, more in terms of, it's about me, right? You go on for entertainment and attention. That's what social media breaks down to, is that's what they want. And that's a very personable thing. Like, I can't use somebody else's attention. It has to be from me. So I just think over to, like, since when was the internet technically invented? I guess as a concept, it was probably around, like, the 80s.
Y2K era?
No, the internet?
As we know it, yeah.
Well, yeah, but as we know it was probably, like, what, 97?
Yeah.
The internet was probably invented in, like, I'm going to look that up. I don't know when the actual internet was invented.
Are we exposing our Gen Z-ness right now, you guys? I actually don't know when the internet was, like, officially invented.
1983.
There you go, 83. But as we know, like, that was a different internet. The internet as we know it, I don't think really existed until the late 90s.
Yeah.
Correct us if we're wrong, if we lack the greater historical connection there. But I agree with that. And so Brock actually, interestingly, runs social media accounts for your job. And so he has a bit of a unique insight into all of this, I think, because you are on social media all day, every day for your job. And I think social media really does play into a big factor in this, because it almost, like, generates this manufactured outrage culture, or this manufactured hyperbole culture, where, like, you do have to do the most outrageous thing humanly possible in order to get likes, in order to build a brand, in order to stand out from just everybody else. Because if everybody else has a public persona to some capacity, which arguably almost every single person in Western society does have a public persona today. You have, like, your social media following, you have even, like, your friends on your Facebook, right? Like, that is a public version of yourself that's different from the you that doesn't exist without the internet.
Well, you kind of have to.
Yeah, I agree. You do have to in order to, like, thrive in modern society, because your college groups are on Facebook, your work stuff involves social media, like, everything involves social media. But I think having the pressure of, like, a public persona in general really has created this, like, hyperbole culture and this manufactured outrage culture where you have to be the most insane person, or I guess not even person, in order to generate attention for yourself today, which has obviously played into American politics. I certainly think it's played into culture in so many different capacities. But this week in particular, I have seen more of this absolute crap nonsense than I've had seen in a shorter period of time like this for a very, very long time, maybe ever. So there's a couple stories that I really want us to dive into. The first of which is your favorite manufactured outrage queen of body positivity, supposedly, Lizzo, who we've talked about a lot on the stream. I feel like there's just no escaping Lizzo, to be honest with you. Like, we just have to keep talking about her over and over and over again, because something crazy happens every few months, like her surprise guest appearance as Jabba the Hutt back in the Star Wars universe a few months ago, which I was really surprised by. I thought Jabba was dead, to be honest, but we brought him back in The Mandalorian. We've talked about Lizzo when she, like, talked about never wanting to lose weight a couple of months ago. She gave some horrible speech accepting a music award last fall. I can't even remember what the speech was, but we talked about her a lot then when she was on the cover of the magazine and looked like a bloody tampon, and that's what we decided to call fashion. There's no escaping Lizzo, okay? She's just always back on the stream every few months. She is trending all over the internet today, and I think it is the most wild, bizarre turn of events, because Lizzo, who has built an international multi-million-dollar brand for herself, not just in the music industry, but on the cover of almost every single fashion magazine, being featured in Disney shows and Star Wars shows, hosting awards programs, her whole TikTok and internet persona. Like, everybody our age knows at least who Lizzo is, because she has built this huge international brand for herself that I would argue is more infamous than famous, but whatever. Lizzo has been sued today after manufacturing this crazy outrage culture about body positivity and fat shaming and wanting to always be fat and how that's the new beautiful, which is crazy enough in and of itself. And again, we talk about it all the time because we have to. It's what generates the news. This woman, of all women, has been sued by 3 of her former backup dancers, saying that they were A, sexually harassed by this woman, but also B, that she created a hostile work environment by fat shaming her backup dancers. This girl right here, this girl was fat shaming her backup dancers. And I cannot wrap my head around what we are doing in society if like body positivity and pro fatness and fat is beautiful and fat is fit is okay for this girl to make a multi-million-dollar brand for herself, but it's not okay for anybody else because you're the only person who's allowed to be fat. Like, I do not understand it whatsoever. And in case you need a little brief refresher on the history of Lizzo, what are you looking at?
I was counting her chins.
You were counting the chins. Important things to count. In case you need a little refresher about Lizzo and all of the things that she personally stands for, on Billboard magazine in early 2022, she denounced big girl stereotypes and talked about being a body icon. I like being fat. I know I'm fat. It doesn't bother me. CNN reported earlier this year that Lizzo is over the fat shaming. She's over it. She's striking back at anti-fat comments about her, but not about anybody else, right? I literally stopped eating fast food years ago. I can't help that I'm fat. Glamour magazine in 2020, Lizzo wants the world to know that being fat is normal. I owe it to the people who started this to just not stop here because she has to be the queen of weight and body positivity, and she's never been afraid of coming for fat shamers. Well, she should be pretty damn afraid now because she has become the fat shamer. And when I saw this story, I just instantly started cracking up, and I showed it to Brock a few hours ago, and he immediately thought of Michael Scott. Well, how the turntables. And that's exactly how I feel. But how insane and how unbelievably self-obsessed and clinically narcissist to build a multi-million-dollar brand for yourself about being fat. Literally, that's her whole brand. That is what has landed her the cover of every fashion magazine, what has sold her songs, what has put her songs in movies. What she just wrote a song for the Barbie movie, didn't she? Yeah, it's like a trending song for the Barbie movie. Everything about her and her entire rise to international fame, or being infamous rather than being famous, has been about being fat, has been about having how many chins?
Too many to count.
Too many to count. And now she has the audacity to start fat shaming everybody else. Like, well,
Okay, so I was thinking about the Barbie thing because you brought that up. She did. She wrote the opening track, which is like when they do the opening credits and like, and she wakes up like in Barbie Land. And I thought about this because Dua Lipa also wrote a big hit in the movie. It's like the opening dance scene number is Dua Lipa's song, and it was like in the trending charts, whatever. Dua Lipa's in the movie. She is Mermaid Barbie.
Yes.
And so she's in the movie. And I laughed because I thought about this when we saw it. Because I thought they were going to put Lizzo in the movie. And I was like, oh, I wonder, because I didn't know Lizzo sang that song until I saw the movie. And then as soon as I saw it, I could hear it. And I was like, oh, that's Lizzo. I thought she was going to be in the movie. But in my head, I went, oh my God, she's going to be Fat Barbie. Like, I thought if Lizzo,
had a Fat Barbie.
Listen, no, but I know they did. But if Lizzo was going to be in a Barbie movie, if Dua Lipa was Mermaid Barbie, what's the number one thing Lizzo would be? She wouldn't be Black Barbie. They had plenty of those. She wouldn't be singer Barbie. She'd be Fat Barbie. That would have what her persona would be, Fat Barbie.
You know what I'm thinking of right now? Immediately, I'm thinking of that TikTok audio. This is a Fat Barbie. I wanted a skinny Barbie. I'm dead. This is a Fat Barbie. You got me a Fat Barbie. I want a skinny Barbie. Yeah. I thought she would be in the movie too, but she wasn't. I guess you're too fat to be a Barbie. But you're not too fat to tell other people you're fat and you're distracting from my fatness. I just genuinely...
Oh, wait, you know what? I think this makes Lizzo a white supremacist now.
I guess.
Because working out and being a fat shamer makes you a white supremacist. So is Lizzo now the face of white supremacy? because she wants her background dancers to not be fat. I think this is the story of 2023. Put aside all things Joe Biden, all things Ukraine, all things Donald Trump. Lizzo fat shaming other people is the story of 2023 I want to see. And if that's the case, good for her. Good for her. She has taken all the fat shaming she has taken. But I also kind of want to see pictures of these background dancers, because if Lizzo thought they were fat, holy shit. like they were either like morbidly obese, or it was the other way around and they were like, they're probably going to be ridiculously in shape and have like, yeah, well, Lord, everybody's in shape.
I think this is my hot take. I think she has to keep this manufactured outrage thing going, that she is so oppressed and people hate her so much because she's fat that nobody who works for her can be fat, because then it's not about her anymore. That's what I think happened. I don't know what these women look like. I haven't seen the pictures. I have absolutely no idea. They could be men. Yeah, it's just, we just know that they're like 3 backup dancers or whatever at this point. But I actually think it's because she has to keep feeding the outrage machine in order to be relevant. Lizzo's a great singer, but I wouldn't consider her to be like the most talented female singer of our time, or like even in the top 10, right? So again, she would not exist. Her brand would not exist if it wasn't for like, I'm the fat chick. Yeah. I'm the fat girl. I'm the pro body positivity girl. If she is remotely threatened from anybody else who works for her, then she can't be the fat chick anymore. Everybody else is the fat chick now. She can't land the Glamour magazine cover and interview. She can't be the next Vanity Fair superstar. Like, none of those things would exist for her. And so that's what I think, like, ties back to what we were talking about earlier. People like have to keep feeding the outrage machine. You have to keep being the most outrageous version of yourself in order to stay relevant, which is really concerning for me, because in a time where there is no such thing pretty much as being normal, like being normal, being like an okay, stable human being is the opposite of cultural norms today. Where does that go? If you have to keep feeding this outrage machine and you have to be the most hyperbolic, insane clown world version of yourself in order to stay relevant, what does that teach the next generation of people? There is no such thing as normal anymore. Like, keep Portland weird. Everybody's weird. There is no weird. The only weird is to be normal. But that's not normal anymore, is the vibe that I'm thinking in my head. And so it's just so bizarre. Like, it's this downward spiral trajectory of culture where I get really concerned about what that looks like for the next generation. And a really great example of that also popped up this week was a story out of Japan. And I don't know if you guys saw this on my Instagram or as a YouTube short or whatever, but there was a man who has spent the last several months wanting to basically be a furry. And I will be the first person to admit, I do not understand furry culture at all. I don't even think it is a furry thing. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. You guys will probably have to explain to me in our live chat what the heck a furry is, because I don't get it. I don't understand it. All I know is that there's these conventions, and now we're having to put litter boxes in elementary schools because children are cats now that need to pee in a litter box in a public school in America, which is also a true story, by the way. But coming back full circle, this guy in Japan has spent 14,000 US dollars, 2 million yen, to create this lifelike collie costume of a dog, to turn himself into a dog that he can fit in the costume. And he's spent the last several months at home playing in his own backyard to be a dog. And then he just decided to make his like public debut as a dog this last weekend. And I saw this video and my soul just immediately wanted to shrivel up and die. I don't have the original video, so I'm just going to replay the one that I already made about it. And you guys just prepare yourselves, okay? I'm gonna have to turn off another video to turn this one back. We'll come back to that one. Here we go. Ready? Are you ready for this? This is what happens when people like Lizzo get to decide the trajectory of culture by making you a super outrageous, insane person.
A Japanese man spent more than $14,000 to turn into a dog.
A dog.
Known only as Toko, the man spent 2 million yen on a hyper-realistic collie costume to...
Like, that is not a dog. That's a human being in a dog costume. That cannot be comfortable to walk around like that, can it? That would be awful. That would be terrible.
Fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming an animal. In recent updates shared with his almost 30,000 YouTube subscribers, Toko was seen playing in his backyard on all fours and performing tricks in exchange for treats.
No.
But now he has
No.
ventured into public for the first time to reveal his new look.
Okay, this is where it gets so sad, and the dog person in me like literally hates this. Watch the dogs when the dogs meet the dog man, okay? They know something is not passing the smell test here. Something is not right. This is not a dog. The dogs look so confused. Look at him wave. That would freak me out. These poor dogs. No. Could you imagine being asked, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I pet your dog?" And the answer being, "No, sorry, it's not my dog, it's my husband." Guys, I think we've lost the plot. We have lost the plot. So not only do you have to be like the fat person, and you can be the only fat person, now you actually shouldn't even be a person, because this man dog thing has 30,000 YouTube subs about his journey of becoming a dog and leaving humanity behind in order to, I don't know, fulfill his lifelong dream of pooping on the street. Maybe he should just move to San Francisco. It seems like a much easier way to accomplish that. I don't understand. So is that next now? Like, Lizzo's already outrageous enough, but that's not enough now. You can't even be a human, even a crazy human. You have to be an animal now?
I would rather deal with those people than the Lizzos of the world.
Really?
Yeah, that might be a hot take. Because I feel like we as a society can really like collectively put our heads together and say that guy that is the dog is just weird. Like, we can collectively shame that dude and put him down and be like, no pun intended, putting him down. But but like, put him aside and be like, okay, that is weird. Let's not, advance this into like mainstream culture. This guy, sure, love the journey. Let's watch it and be like, wow, that's there are some crazy people out there. The problem is the Lizzos of the world have like twisted it so bad to where they're like, Lizzo's, ironically, she used to say it was okay to be fat and like it's healthy and like all this kind of stuff, when like actually doctors are like, no, she's like gonna die. Where this, I feel like you're not gonna get as big as outrage because it's so a step off the cliff, like it's so out. I get where you're trying to tie in, is like maybe we could be going here. There is no too weird anymore. I get that, and God, I hope we as a society can say that's too weird, but I could be wrong, and I probably will be wrong.
No.
But you know what I will say? This to me, compared to like a furry, right? So a furry is somebody, at least in my understanding, not that I know, people are all going to be like, Brock knows what a furry is. Like, Brock's secretly a furry.
Isabel Brown.
Yeah.
Furry.
A furry, as far as I understand, is someone who dresses up in those weird, like, sort of over-the-top colored animal suits, right? Like, either A, they identify as some other animal, or, like, they do, like, sexual things with other furries. That's where I take that understanding. This person has gone so far into the realm that, like, do they even act human anymore? They're just like, I'm a dog forever. Which, A, I would want to know how his back has got to be like a disaster, like scoliosis over the top from being on all fours all day. But I think there's a difference, and I think that these people, I say these people, this is only one person that we know of. Like this just needs to be, yeah, I just saw Alex Padron say, doesn't Brock own a unicorn costume? This is true. I do. It is in the closet. Which, it's going to get outed that I'm a furry because I own a unicorn costume. I don't know. I could be crazy here and thinking, like, I feel like this, to me, like, I would rather us as a society have to deal with the crazy dog people than the Lizzos. And because, and this could be to the point because, like, Lizzo has such a, like, this, I don't know. I can't even think of the right word I'm trying to think of, but, like, they're both crazy, but I feel like I just want to like the dog guy more than I like Lizzo.
You just want to. Well, it's probably because you hate Lizzo so much. Like you hate Lizzo. That is not on your radar at all. There's one song from Lizzo I actually really like, and I hate that I like it so much. But we separate the art from the artist around here. We're very clear about that. I don't know. Maybe you are right. Maybe it's better to deal with the Lizzos of the world than the dog, or the other way around. Maybe it's better to deal with the dog people of the world than the Lizzos of the world. I don't know, but I feel like we've overindulged in the anything goes of culture so much that like literally anything goes. Like literally children are peeing in litter boxes in elementary schools, and the CDC is having to readjust the childhood obesity rates because everyone is obese now. Everyone. All the people's kids are obese. So if being obese is normal, then you have to reclassify what obesity actually is, because that has to be like hyper obesity. I read some study that like 90% of America is supposed to be diagnosed with diabetes in the next 50 years or something, which is disgusting to me. I don't quote me on that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but something ridiculous like that. And I don't know, honestly, where we go from here, because obviously these are like the insane, outrageous fringe stories and fringe examples of that, but it's starting to impact the whole self-obsession, anything goes, I can do and say whatever I want, I can act like however I want culture. It's starting to impact everyday people and everyday life too. And so even though these three stories that we're talking about today are kind of all over the place, I see so much of a connection in what happened with Lizzo today, in this man in Japan turning himself into a dog, and this video that we're about to watch about brides planning their wedding and being absolute Bridezilla insane people about it, because we have created an American culture where, and maybe this is true where you live too, I know we have a lot of people watching in Europe, we have a lot of people in Canada and Australia and New Zealand, so maybe this is true in just all of Western society, I don't know, but at least in America, we've created and nurtured a culture that says there are no consequences for you being a bad person. There are no consequences for you failing to take responsibility for yourself and the people around you, and literally just do whatever you want, consequences be damned. Like, there is no such thing as a bad thing or a bad culture anymore. Unless you are, ironically, a good person, like, then you are bad somehow. That's how we've twisted things really badly. So I came across this other video, and I'm dying to get Brock's opinions on it, because you've seen part of it, but not all of it, that this girl is going through a Reddit forum about horrible, like, nightmare bridesmaid scenarios. And I'm planning our wedding right now. I say you probably don't even really know what's going on, to be honest. You're in, like, cruise groom mode right now. Yeah. Shocking, I know. You spent a lot of money on that, so I know if you know we're getting married. But I watched this video and was just in absolute horror about how these women are treating the people that they want to be in their wedding, be their bridesmaids. And I see so much of that clinically narcissist, unbelievably self-absorbed behavior that I witnessed from Lizzo and the dog man and all of that in these women. And I'm curious to know if you guys see the same link, or I'm just like looking for a story here. But I think this has become such a cultural norm in anything goes, anything I want to do is good, consequences be damned. I don't have to have any regard for other people's feelings or any regard for other people's well-being whatsoever, or responsibility for the people in my life. I can just be an absolute jerk and still feel pretty good about myself because it's my way or the highway. So just prepare yourself. This one is pretty painful.
A Japanese man spent...
I won't lie to you.
I've officially dropped out of the bridal party. I'm a size 12 with no plans on dropping to a size 8 by December. Welcome to my bridal party. I'm so excited to marry the man of my dreams. As you know, this is going to be a very different wedding. We are hoping to do it outside and understand December is generally a cold month, but in Oklahoma it's usually sunny and 70. Just a few things to ask. I handpicked all the dresses and bridesmaids that will be there, so they will all be a size 8. So if you're not a size 8, I recommend hitting the gym. Stop. No offense.
Also, what happens if you're less than a size 8 and you can't fit into the dress? Are you like expected to just like binge eat so that you fit into that dress? That's ridiculous.
Anyone, but I've had this plan since I was in diapers and I want it perfect. Your nails need to be cut short and uncolored. Hair needs to be shoulder length and straightened. So if your hair is short, get extensions.
No, 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 no. If you're telling girls they need to cut their hair and or get hair extensions in order to stand up there with you, what are you doing?
No fake tans. SC isn't the maid of honor and is just going to be a guest.
I love this.
If you don't know why, just ask. We have an understanding. We also want no kids at the ceremony except my flower girl, but she will only be present to throw flowers. Then her parents are taking her home. I'm sorry if this seems like a lot of demands, but this isn't special day and just want it to be like I always pictured. Please be respectful and we will have an awesome time.
If you think it's getting bad, oh, it gets worse, way worse. Listen to the audacity of this woman talking to her bridesmaids.
One last thing, I'll be sending my Venmo and Cash App to the ones who haven't paid the $500 donation toward the honeymoon in Hawaii. Love you guys, can't wait to be a wifey.
That is so bad. That's disgusting. I could never imagine us ever doing that. You barely even wanted to call your groomsmen. You were like, I'll just text them. Could you imagine sending them a message like that?
Well, okay. The no kids thing, not opposed to that. I've seen that. I've seen a lot of people talk about that. Kids have a very high potential of ruining weddings.
I disagree with that.
We can dive into that. I'd be willing to have a conversation about that because kids can absolutely ruin weddings.
I think kids can also make weddings great, though.
Sure, but there's a higher probability that they ruin it.
Anybody can ruin a wedding.
Yeah,
Adults can
I
too.
agree with that, but kids have a higher percentage chance of doing that. So I understand people that want to have a adult only wedding and reception. I don't disparage them from that, if that makes sense. I'll take that point aside. I see normal people have it. This chick's insane.
Yeah.
This chick's nuts. Just the fact that you would ask your bridesmaids to fund your honeymoon is wild. I feel like as a bride and groom, you should be funding your bridesmaids and groomsmen to get there and have a place to stay so they can be there, let alone being like, hey, here's my Venmo. That's wild. The size 8 thing. I mean, I'm obviously a man, so, we only work in small, medium, large. Is that waist? Is that...
It kind of depends. I'm a size 2 for reference. So 8 is kind of right in the middle when it comes to sizing. It's not plus sizing, but it's probably a solid medium. But what if are you just asking?
Where does that measurement come from?
It depends. Mostly your waist, your pant size.
So
yeah.
It's just
But you can buy a shirt in a size 2. It's women's sizing is more.
Okay, yeah, that's ridiculous. Guys are just give me a large, and if it's too small, an extra large. That's wild. That's crazy. Because I was saying the same thing as you. My brain immediately went to, there's clearly a fat girl in the group or two. We've just gone from Lizzo to just the sizing of wedding dresses. But my first thought was okay, so if you're too small, what if you're a 5 or a 2?
No 5.
There's no 5? Then how's there an 8? What does it go from 2 to 8?
4, 6, 8.
Oh, it's even numbers. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. Got it. What if there's a 4? A 2? Is there a 0? Mm-hmm. Yeah, size 0. That's a thing.
There's a double 0.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever. That doesn't make it. We need to revisit. This needs to be a whole stream in and of itself. Girls' clothes are stupid. Yeah. Is a girl that's a size 4 supposed to get jacked and put on some beef and get to a size 8? That all is 1000% the bride being hella insecure about herself. And or just being a jerk to one girl in the group that's clearly not a size 8, and she just passive aggressively sent that to the entire group, hey, you better make sure you're a size 8. But I feel I'm obviously not a girl, but as a bride, wouldn't you want all your bridesmaids to be different than you? You would not want them to all be the same as you, right?
Well, we don't know if she's also a size 8.
True. Maybe she's fat. Do you think this is Lizzo? Lizzo wrote this wedding thing. Clearly, that's what it is, and she wants all
You have to all be smaller than me.
She wants all her people to be smaller than her because there can be no other fat person at the wedding because she is the fat queen. Yeah, that's why. That'd be like me telling all my guy friends, everybody needs to be a medium with like a 32 waist and same length. Like stretch your legs to be the same length so we're all the same height at our wedding. Yeah, that's dumb.
Okay, so the best part is this gets even better. So this story goes on, and then there's more stories of other brides, but I'm curious to get Brock's thoughts on all of this. A, from like a fun wedding planning perspective, but B, because narcissism is everywhere in culture, and I promise we will come full circle to like the big picture of this here at the end of this reaction.
Like, just,
I love what this girl
you
has
know,
to say.
I'm just baffled. I'm baffled that this person is getting married and I'm not.
Who are the men marrying these women, by the way? Like, red flags everywhere. If your bride-to-be is ever exhibiting this type of behavior, run. Run for the hills. It's only gonna get worse.
All right, so there's some more details because, believe it or not, this story went viral on Choosing Beggars. Unfortunately, she's marrying one of my close cousins. I've never been a fan of the relationship. She's so bossy and controlling, and my aunt hates her so much. She really is toxic.
That's not surprising to me whatsoever that this girl is insanely toxic, bossy, and controlling.
Any reactions to you dropping out? Yes, she says she's seen it coming because I just gave birth last. Oh my god.
So not only is this girl not a size 8, she's not a size 8 because she was just pregnant. She just gave birth to a baby, which is why she's not a size 8. Oops, hang on.
I just gave birth last month and didn't think I would be able to fit my dress, but would love for me to come as a guest. Unfortunately, I don't have $500 to splurge on someone else's honeymoon when I never had one myself. Oh, the drama. This is so messy. So Mater didn't have...
This is the next story, so I don't want to jump into that one too much. But yeah, literally, this girl couldn't fit into the dress because she had just had a baby and never got to go on her own honeymoon, but was supposed to spend $500 on somebody else's.
Rip. And so now she won't even be able to bring her baby or her size 8 dress because there's no kids and no size 8s. Or no other sizes but 8. That's messed up.
That's not a friend.
I would. Oh my gosh. Who? The girl reacting to this or making this video.
She's awesome.
Had a good point. Yeah, I like her a lot. She's funny. Had a good point of like, how is this girl getting married? And I'm not. It's a great question. But also, who is going to this girl's wedding? Like, you don't have to. Weddings are optional, people. Like, you don't have to go to them. Even if somebody invites, I can't tell you how many wedding invites I've gotten and like never gone. Like, half the time people invite you to their wedding because there's like 1,000 people coming, and they just want to get as many gifts as possible. Like, you get invites from people you literally haven't talked to in like 5 years, or it's like somebody's kids that you're friends with, and they just invite you literally just to get a check or like a $500 memo. It's only one. I don't send gifts, and I don't attend. Unless, like, I love you. And then, like, I'll actually show up and bring you a gift. But it's like, I'm not giving a gift to a random person. And I'm also not showing up if you haven't been a part of my life. I don't care. Have fun. I wish you all the best.
That's a great point.
Like,
fair point. All right, so then it gets even crazier. Because if you thought that girl was narcissistic and self-centered, this might be the most outrageous story I've ever heard, ever, about any subject ever. I made a video for Instagram about this, so you might have already seen me talk about this story. But this girl actually has the audacity to say that her friend with cancer shouldn't be in the wedding anymore, even though she already asked her to be a bridesmaid.
Cancer when I invited her to be my bride.
Here, I'll rewind a little bit so that we can...
But would love for me to come as a guest. Unfortunately, I don't have $500 to splurge on someone else's honeymoon when I never had one myself. Oh, the drama. This is so messy. So Mater didn't have cancer when I invited her to be my bridesmaid. But now I'm having second thoughts about her being in the wedding. Like, she mentioned the other day that her hair has started to fall out a bit, and I noticed that it was looking thinner than normal. I just can't envision having all you beautiful ladies up there with me looking fabulous and then Mater with no hair. I just feel like it'll distract from me and blank, and I just feel it won't fit with the look I'm going for. Do you think I could ask her to wear a wig? Or should I tell her I don't think she should be a bridesmaid anymore? Help.
I love that text.
What? to this girl because it doesn't fit the aesthetic of her wedding with all the girls with their pretty long hair standing up there, is thinking about literally unasking her friend that she already asked to be a bridesmaid to be in her wedding because her hair is falling out because she has freaking cancer. I mean, it literally almost is comical. It's so effed up.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's bad. So then the other bridesmaids start asking, are you serious?
WTF, are you serious right now? I concur. I second that. Are you serious? So apparently, this group text ended up being shared with Mater.
She sent that in a group chat?
She sent that in a group chat to all of the other bridesmaids except the girl with cancer. Help. Do I ask her to be a bridesmaid still or not?
Every single bridesmaids should boycott that wedding.
Yes.
Not show up in honor of that girl, or any girl that's friends with that girl should not show up either and be like, you shouldn't go. That the girl with cancer shouldn't even go. She shouldn't be her friend anymore. The fact that she even thought about that.
Amen.
The husband of this woman should be like,
Take the ring.
honey,
Goodbye.
I understand if he really loves her, but I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, that is the worst kind of behavior I've ever seen. You mentioned this on your Instagram video, but we talked about this when we first saw this video, is if that had been guys, all the guys in the wedding would have shaved their heads. Even the groom. The groom would have shaved his head in
As
like
he should.
in solidarity with that one friend, and they would have all like taken group pictures together, and it would have been like this really heartfelt thing, and they'd be like all about the camaraderie and everything. Like, that is so effed up that she even like that even crossed her mind. She was like, oh my God, I shouldn't have like
Your hair.
talk about insecurities of like you as a human being. Like, that's so, that girl's not your friend. The girl with cancer, the bride is not your friend. Like, that's awful.
Agreed. And I don't even think her groom should be marrying her anymore, to be honest. I wouldn't if anybody treated me like this ever, or treated any human being like this. This is so narcissistic and messed up. So she sends this in a group chat, apparently. I'm learning this as we all learn this. From what I'm gathering from the girl who made this video, she sent this in a group chat to all of the other bridesmaids that weren't the girl with cancer. Naturally, because they are better people than this absolute psychopath of a Bridezilla, they sent it to the girl with cancer to tell her, like, hey, this is going on, and this is what she said.
And this is what Mater said. Hey blank, I will no longer be attending your wedding as a bridesmaid or a guest. It has come to my attention that you are concerned about me potentially losing my hair and how that will affect the aesthetic of your wedding / photos / vibe. I would just hate for my chemotherapy treatment and resulting side effects to negatively affect you and your wedding day. So I will not be attending. I just wasn't expecting you to get cancer and lose your hair when I asked you to be my bridesmaid. And now it's hard to see that with my vision of my wedding day.
Could you imagine the vision of the rest of your life if you've been diagnosed with freaking cancer? I can't.
I'd be totally fine with you wearing a wig. Could make a day of it and go shopping for one. Oh yay! Ooh!
I'm gonna take you to shop for a wig because I don't want you to just stand there in my wedding.
Feel her. We hit at this one. OMG, you are so right. I can't imagine how unexpected must have been for you to find out that I had cancer. And thank you for being totally fine with me wearing a wig. That's just so gosh darn considerate of you. Maybe I can get a clown wig to match your delusional... This is me officially RSVPing, not attending on the account of you being a soggy Pop-Tart. Holy cannoli. Nice.
So I love the girl with cancer because that is like a W response to all of that. But still, that should have never happened.
The groom should leave the wife and go get together with the girl with cancer. That would be the biggest middle finger.
Hallmark movie.
Like, yeah, they'd write movies about that.
That would. And he should. He should absolutely do that.
Nice response, though. That was seriously top-notch. Just poetry. TripAdvisor review of a Maui beach.
Okay, so these people then get married on a beach in Maui and are upset that other people are on the beach in Maui. At a public beach, okay?
Not a beach for romance or wedding pictures. The beach was clean and a beautiful sight. I give it that. But it was always cloudy here or rain every time I came to this side of the island. Imagine being mad about the weather. I thought it would be a little more private with upper class people here or family friendly like the other.
Pause. What is in upper class people?
In Maui.
More private with upper class people. Who's a lower? I would love to ask this girl in person. Who exactly is a lower class person? Please explain to me in your eyes what lower class people are like. Because let me tell you, there aren't lower class people vacationing in Maui. Like, if you think those people are lower class people, that girl has no frame of reference for the actual world. Oh my God. And the weather. She's like, it was just raining all the time and it's cloudy. It's like, okay.
It rains almost every single day in Hawaii. It rains for like 20 minutes. You've been to Maui.
Yeah.
We went last summer. It rains almost every single day.
What?
You're on a tropical island.
What? We were the ones in the background.
Low-key, I could totally see it. So last year we went on vacation to Maui with me and Brock, my sister and her boyfriend Jared, Gabby and Jared, my youngest sister Amelia and her boyfriend Caleb, my mom and dad, my uncle Mike and his girlfriend Jane. And so we're a rambunctious group, let's just put it that way. We're all very loud, boisterous people. And this was the first family trip we've ever taken with boys, ever. Like, boyfriends have never been allowed to come on family vacations until our trip to Hawaii. And it was the most gosh darn fun trip. We had so much fun. But low-key, I could totally see somebody writing a review about our family. So she's on a beach, a public beach. I'm dying to know which beach she's talking about, by the way, in Maui. And she's upset because it's raining and cloudy. Have you been to a tropical region of the world before? I'm just saying. And I thought it would be a little bit more private with upper class people. Let's continue.
Side of the island with beaches. I was under the impression that I could get beautiful wedding pictures here on the beach since I got married here. Disaster, disaster, disaster all the way around. The beach was crowded for the sunset.
Shocking that in one of the most popular vacation destinations on earth, the beach was crowded to watch the sunset.
They gave us dirty looks, like we had no right to be here. Wow, me and my husband were shocked with our kids. We are Christians and have never been treated like that before. We ran into a lot of drunk people. Oh God, drunk people. Oh God, not the drunk people. No compliments out of their mouths. I would not recommend this beach for lovers or happy Christian families with small children, or even just getting married pictures. Very, very bad experience here. She wrote a negative review of a beach. Like, what? Like, the beach is gonna read this and be like, oh yeah, I'll do better next time. So,
did they have, it seems like they had kids before they were married. That's what it seems like. So
or that they were looking for like something more family friendly. It doesn't mean that they had kids.
She said they have kids. Back it up.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she said a place for our kids. Right?
all the way around. The beach was crowded for the sunset. They gave us dirty looks, like we had no right to be here. Wow, me and my husband were shocked with our kids. We are Christians and have never been treated like that before.
If I had been one of those drunk people on the beach, which I probably would have been if we were in our trip in Maui, I would have been like, oh, you're a nice Christian family who just got married. You just got married on this beach, but you have kids. It's like, so were you engaging in some premarital activity? So heart healthy.
We ran into a lot of drunk people. Oh God, drunk people. Oh God, not the drunk people. No compliments out of their mouths. I would not recommend this beach for lovers or happy Christian families with small children, or even just getting married pictures. Very, very bad experience here. She wrote a negative review of a beach. Like, what? Like the beach is gonna read this and be like, oh yeah, I'll do better next time. So.
Oh my gosh! Whatever website she's using to read these is amazing. But I would want to see if there are like comments, like in Reddit, you can like leave threads under people. I would love to read the comments on that one that are like, "You're an idiot."
All right, I haven't seen these next ones, so we're blind reacting here.
With my wedding, were you still coming? Because I was thinking maybe you shouldn't. Like, I don't mean to be harsh, but I thought you'd be over what happened by now. But you cried today just because some lady had a baby. It's just a bit dramatic, and lots of people don't know yet, because apparently you aren't ready to tell people.
Did she like have a miscarriage or something? Why else would you cry because somebody else had a baby and you're not ready to tell people?
I think if you don't tell people, you shouldn't come. Like, I'm trying to be as nice about this as I can, but everyone will be asking why you aren't pregnant. And I don't want them distracted from making me feel special.
Oh my God. So, whoever she's texting had a miscarriage.
Well, I need more context.
She was pregnant. She's no longer pregnant and she doesn't want to tell people. So either her baby passed away really early or had a miscarriage. And that's going to make you as the bride not feel special?
Okay, I need a minute to process what the f*** you just said to me. Don't take it the wrong way. You know I'm right. You just need to move on. I want my wedding to be about me. I don't want it to be ruined by you. No offense. You would do the same. If you don't want to announce it, then just don't come. So let me get this straight. You don't want me at your wedding because the fact that my baby freaking died might ruin your day? Like,
I unsubscribe from Earth.
Gotta be made up. Like,
I don't know. That one maybe.
That is insane. Holy shit.
Am I just missing the part in planning my wedding where I'm supposed to turn into a psychopath? Apparently. Like, what is wrong with all of these women?
The first girl that we reacted to would be on board with this girl because no kids allowed. So they would get along great. This is, I don't know what's worse, this or the cancer one. They're both bad. That is, you know what? I've never had to verbally say in a text message, like, I have to process like what you just said. And then the girl like doubled down. It was like, you know I'm right. You just need to get over it. Now, I mean, clearly it's recent because she was like, well, they're going to wonder why you aren't pregnant. It's not like it happened like 2 years ago. I can understand it a little bit. Like, I can understand 1% of it if it had happened like 3 years earlier and like it's still going on. But clearly, like, it just happened. And she was like, they're going to ask why you aren't pregnant anymore. That person is not your friend and doesn't care about. I want it to be about me and not your dead baby. I'm laughing at the idea that somebody could just have the audacity to think like that. Like, if one of my friends, especially somebody coming to my wedding, had a miscarriage, I would be mortified for them. I would want them at my wedding.
So that you could just hug
so
them.
that I could be with them and spend time with them and be like, oh my gosh, that's like, I can't imagine what that's like. Like,
I love you.
Like, that's horrendous. And that girl's like, nah, you need to get over it. And she literally said, get over your dead baby. That's literally what she said.
Okay, there's more.
I just want to make sure I have this right, because if that's what you're saying, that is just super fucked up, dude. As in, don't worry about me being at the wedding because we won't be friends. So I want to be sure I understand. I mean, that's not how I said it. Okay, so what did I get wrong? You're twisting my words. I just want to be the most important person on the day. And if people see you're not pregnant, they will ask. And then it will take the attention off of me. I just thought you could announce it now so by the wedding, no one will talk about it. I don't think it's such a hard thing to do.
She tripled down. She went 3 times and I was like, that's not what I said.
Moving on from your baby dying is not a hard thing to do.
I'm just going to have a PSA to all the people that see this. All the people that see this. Especially the women. If there are a lot of women talking or watching this right now. Your friend's baby that just passed away is more important than you on any day of your life. That is the most important thing. That is more important than you than any day you've ever lived. Like, that is so... Girls that take this wedding day thing, like, it's the most important day. I mean, it is a very important day. Arguably the most important day of your life. And, like, I get the idea of wanting it to, like, it's the one day you get to celebrate it. But that is just, like, that's a self-obsession thing that is just, like, very wrong and toxic. Like, that friend's baby is more important than you. Mm-hmm. Like that's wild to even, like, think about. Like, somebody just has no moral concept if they think that. They're like, oh, people will just get over it. It's like, no, like, if one of my best friends had a baby, well, we're going to have a lot of friends at our wedding with babies. Like, if somebody's baby, if something happens to our friend's baby at our wedding, we would be the first to, like, making sure that becomes the priority of, like, hey, we need to take care of this person's baby. No, it's not about, like, I'm not worried about this wedding right now. Like, let's help them out. But I would have thought that'd just be a normal human behavior instead of whatever that girl's
I guess it's not normal human behavior.
You know what? You enjoy your wedding without me. I hope our friendship is worth all the attention you so desperately need, you giant trash pile of a human. You are being silly, but okay. Like, what is wrong with wanting to make sure that my day is about me? Yeah, we're done. Holy I cannot believe you. You think I give an F about attention on me. She was my baby. How freaking dare you? Seriously, glad I found out you were trash now so I don't waste any more time speaking to you. Tell blank I'll see him at the divorce party.
W.
Hey, divorce party! Nicely said, girl. Love that for you. This has been How Not to Be a Human Being with Charlotte Dobre.
So Charlotte's a W human. We love Charlotte. This video is shocking. I don't know where these people come from, but sadly I see more and more and more of this type of behavior over and over. And so, like, yes, this was a silly video that we're reacting to. It is insane. Like, the average bride probably does not behave this way, but I see the exact same behavior happening every time I go speak about being pro-life on college campuses. I see people like behave the exact same way that all of these brides were doing. I see the exact same behavior happening with all of these insane people on the internet that try to tell me that I shouldn't have a social media account because I'm a woman with this like extreme trad wife thing, or that I should be like SA'd, if you guys know what I'm saying, because I'm a woman who has a voice and is outspoken about this stuff. So it happens on both sides of the coin. And I think a lot of this is fueled by the manufactured outrage thing and the clinical narcissism thing, and like, it's my way or the highway all the time. And I am the main character. I am the center of everything in my world. I'm curious, Brock, if you would agree with this, but my little PSA would be, newsflash to anyone watching this video, newsflash to Lizzo, newsflash to the dog man, newsflash to all of these psycho bridezillas that I hope every one of them gets left at the altar, because those poor grooms, if so, it's just a bad recipe for disaster. PSA, you in your life are not the main character. You're not. Which is kind of hard to reconcile with Western civilization, because I think the entirety of Western civilization has been built on the fact that you are the main character, that it's your dreams, your destiny, you have to work hard. If you can dream it, you can do it. So it's hard to say that as somebody who believes in like American values and Western civilization. But you aren't the main character in your life. God is. This life is temporary. And if you make yourself the main character of your life, the next life is going to be pretty uncomfortable for you. At the bare minimum. It's going to be eternal torture and literally hell.
I thought Miami was hot.
We thought Miami was bad. I'm just telling you what. We thought Phoenix was bad in the summer. That's nothing. I'm just really shocked that we've given so far into the I am the main character, manufactured outrage, hyperbole culture, that we genuinely believe there is no consequences for anything we say, do, believe, act upon, etc. And the more I've done like more introspective self-searching on this as of late, and I think we both have really over the last year, I just pray every single day that I become less of me and more of God. Like, God, just fill my soul with more of you and less of me, because I don't want to be the main character anymore. And maybe that means I like am anti-Western civilization now, because I don't know. And I would have a lot of people probably critique me on that statement, saying, well, you're not a real American then, or you're not blah, 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 blah. But you know what? If the consequence of being the main character is crap like this, no thanks. Unsubscribe. I'm not the main character. You're not the main character. God is. And I'm hoping that I can tailor my life towards being a supporting role in that story. I would love to be a supporting role in that story. Take on somewhat of an active participation. But I think we need to start telling people, you are not the center of the universe anymore. Bring back bullying. To a healthy degree. I was bullied. Brutally. Maybe that's why I don't act like this. Maybe these kids were just like bubble wrap participation trophy kids that never were bullied or never were harmed by anything, and so they just genuinely think that they can act like this. I don't know where this comes from, but you aren't the main character is, I guess, the point that I'm trying to say. This narcissistic, it's all about me thing all the time has got to stop. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with your sentiment. I think these like wild wedding ones were obviously, out there. They were kind of like the extreme of the extreme. I definitely I want to. I just saw somebody's comment that said, "I think I'm gay now if this is the case." The Fredster 32. That's funny. We're gonna have to do more of these. I want to go on that website or watch more of Charlotte's videos of like these like crazy, like wives or girlfriends, fiancés that are like going through all this and like crazy wedding stories like that. Because that would be fascinating. Because I'm sure there's thousands and thousands upon more of those. Yeah, I mean there is an unhealthy level of self-obsession in the world, but like more centralized in specific America today. Is that going to get worse? Probably, because we're a culture that uplifts self-obsession, or we uplift it as a society, which, I do think there is a faction of people, especially young people, that kind of turn their nose up to stuff like that and are like, because, for every girl that leaves a story like that, there's 1,000 of them commenting, like, you're the problem, like, you're a horrible person, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. I don't know if that'll ever change just because, how long does a snowball have to like actually course correct society? It might not ever, but if it does, it takes years. So that'd be interesting. But that is, yeah. If you ever do those again, I want to come back on the stream and watch those again because I'm probably about to go Google like all those after the fact. I'm gonna see what video or like what website she was using because that was. I think it's fun too for us as we're going through the wedding planning process, figuring out like that's like some of those, you're dead baby. You're like, sorry, you're going to take too much attention on me because your baby died. That feels like a joke. Like that literally, I laugh at that because that sounds like a satire we would have made up in middle school and been like, you can't come to my wedding because your baby died. Like,
oh my gosh. I'm over here like texting my bridesmaids once a month because I'm too nervous that I'm like spamming them with things. And I'm like, hey guys, I kind of think I have like a rough idea for colors, but you can pick your dress, okay? Could you imagine being like, you have to have exactly this size of clothing and your hair needs to be cut to this length. And if you have cancer, you are uninvited. No, that's insane. So I think you're right. For us, it is fun, and we should do more of these. We should do a whole stream about this, just reacting to all these crazy videos.
The baby one, my brain can't get past that. Like I thought the cancer one was bad, but like the baby one is. That girl's that's just like, yeah, never mind. Like I'm not coming if it was my effing baby. Ooh,
that's bad.
Somebody should send that to that girl's parents and be like, "This is your daughter that's getting married." Again, who are these? Yeah, who are these husbands that are? I would love to know if those weddings like still go on or they don't. Because like if somebody came up to me and was like, "Yo, Brock, Isabel won't let me come to my wedding because our baby just died," I'd be like, "Yo, we have a serious problem."
Give me that ring back, please.
Oof.
Yeah. Yikes, indeed. All right, you guys, what a crazy stream, but just remember, it doesn't always have to be about you all the time. Wherever you can in your life, give back to other people, make yourself less and make God more in your life. Look in the mirror and acknowledge when you aren't being the best version of yourself. I think there's such a healthy philosophical growth that takes place there that our society never even remotely wants to promote. Jordan Peterson has so many great videos and lectures about why can't I just do whatever I want. And if you haven't really dived into much of his work, I think that's a great next step. If this got you thinking about like, clinical narcissism is everywhere. Like the world is doomed. Everywhere I look, everybody's just obsessed with themselves and obsessed with making a name for themselves or building a brand for themselves or just being a piece of shit human being. Where do I go to like not end up like that? How can I be fighting back against that and be living a countercultural lifestyle? Jordan Peterson has a ton of great videos on why can't I just do whatever I want? Why do I need to have accountability for myself and responsibility for the people around me? So would definitely point you in that direction. But just know there are a lot of people still out there who are good people and who are trying to make themselves less, give back to other people more. and bring goodness and truth and morality back into the world. Not everybody is a Lizzo or a dog man or one of these crazy Bridezillas.
Yo, the dog man?
He's normal comparatively.
Huge W. Like,
I'll hang out with the dog man over any of those brides any day, and particularly Lizzo. But we just have to do what we can to keep fighting back and keep speaking the truth and bringing some goodness and light back into our crazy, messed up, upside down, dark world. And all of that is possible thanks to you guys tuning into the stream and helping to support all of my content. So huge thank you to all of you for that. Before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor of today's video, which was the mighty Public Square. You guys know them. You guys love them. If you haven't already checked out their marketplace of more than 55,000 small businesses that are all pro-life, pro-family, and pro-freedom, you can go to publicsquare.com or download Public SQ, the Public Square app, on the App Store or Google Play. And of course, add your small business to their network of small businesses. You guys already have. I get notifications all the time when you guys are adding because I can see when you click the link. So click that Public Square link I am dropping in our live chat right now if you are a small business owner of any kind to add your small business to Public Square. As they are a publicly traded company now, they're just going to continue growing like crazy, and we love to see the impact that they are making. And I also just dropped another link in our live chat for you guys to join us over on Locals in our community for our post-stream Q&A and hangout. We've got a new episode of our dating series, Outdated, coming out to you tonight on Locals, and I'm interviewing a very sweet friend of mine named Bernadine about her community on social media called Fearless Femininity and her online dating course for Christian female singles looking for a husband instead of a hookup buddy, which is important because we love husbands around here. Are you excited to be my husband? It's kind of weird. Just no. You're the worst. It's weird to call you that. Like, you're not my boyfriend. You're gonna be my husband. You're my fiance.
I'm not your boyfriend anymore.
I know. Like, I'm still not even used to saying fiance. I feel like I just got used to that.
I call you my wife. Like,
yeah, but I'm not your wife
I know,
yet.
My friends correct me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm with
You're
my
just
wife.
like preemptively trying to get your brain used to the association of the word, I guess. But we're big around here about marriage, so tune into our dating series on Locals tonight. I just dropped the link to join us for our Q&A on Locals as well. And of course, as we are leaving the stream today, do me a huge favor and hit that follow or subscribe button on whatever platform you are watching on. Right now, it makes such a huge difference. If you guys actually want like a Brock takeover of the stream, this has been requested and we're putting him on the spot now. Locals has asked for it multiple times. So maybe we'll have to do a guys night on the stream and see how that goes. Alex in particular is all about it. So we'll think about doing something like that here pretty soon. We might have to rein him in because I think if I just give you full leeway to stream about whatever you want, it'll be a wild experiment. It'll be the Mojo Dojo Casa house of streams, which would be a little crazy. But we love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with us on this beautiful Tuesday. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and Getter. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Locals, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.